Okay. So, hello, good evening. Hannukah Sameach. So we said we're learning Torah Aleph, Likutey Moharan second Chelek. We're holding by Seif Tes 9. Now, as we said, the Torah is based upon the principle that a person is created to have dominion over the malachim. The way to do it is to connect oneself with the root of the souls of Israel. These are the tzaddikim. Now, we have a problem because we need to recognize who are the real tzaddikim, who are not so real tzaddikim, that basically acquire their position as leaders through azus, through boldness, through ambition. So the mahalach of the Torah is about how to be able to recognize who are the true tzaddikim to connect to. This is what the Torah is about. And we said the basic way to do it is through yira. The person is yira, yira shlema, b'chinas Yerushalayim. He's able to. He says there's a problem. That things that take away the yira. There's the three taivas: money, food, and women. These are corrected. These are fixed with the aid of the Shloisha Regalim. We said that Sukkot helps a person fix Taivas Achila. Shavuos helps a person fix Taivas Nashim. And Pesach helps fix Taivas Mammon. Now, and we said that when a person acquires a yira shlema, he has to be very wary of appointment, being appointed as leader, as manager, as Rosh Hashiva, as whatever. All these, he has to be very, very wary of that, because that seeps away the yira. It takes away the yira. Now, when a person has a yira that's proper, that creates a malach, an angel. That angel is the angel that is, what he produces is nevuah, is prophecy. That nevuah, a person creates, prophecy, even though there's no mamish prophecy in this generations, but there's a ruach of prophecy in the world, at least, by this person especially. And what that does is it releases the tefillah, davening, from being covered up with, what can you do, Did you daven? Yeah, I daven. How did I daven? The Rebbe says, that Nosson talks about it in one of the letters that I saw today. That the main avodah of a person is to be sure, when he's davening, to pay attention to the words that he's saying out of his mouth. When a person does that, word for word, then his kavanah, his intention, is pulled into the tefillah. Then his energy is also being poured into the tefillah, and his tefillah is the way it's supposed to be. This is what we reached until last year. Now we're on Siftes. And when the tefillah is being delivered and rescued, then all the medicine, all this Indian that people go to doctors to get healed, that fall down. That's the medicine of the doctors. Why? Because a person doesn't need medicine. When you have a tefillah, which is the result of that spirit of prophecy that was created by the angel, that was created by the fact that you have a complete yira, a yira shlema, when a person has such, you already have the keys, you already have everything that is needed. And now the Rebbe explains how does this work. It's not just that you don't need it. The Rebbe explains as follows: all the medicines are through plants, medicinal plants. It doesn't matter whether those ingredients come through plants or they come through a pill, something which is basically it's all plant-based. This is, especially in those days, that's the thing that in fact, when the Zohar discusses, thank you so much. When the Zohar discusses the longevity of the first generations, 1,000 years, 600 years, 900 years, all those, the Zohar says this is because they knew what to eat. They knew what to eat, they knew what not to eat, which means that a person's refuah and a person's illness, everything comes through its food. You know that. And one of the reasons why there are all kinds of illnesses today is due to the low quality of the food that we eat. Either artificial or whatever it is that they do to the food today to make money. This is all. We call esev ve'esev, and every single medicinal plant receives its potency from higher spiritual levels, which are acting as a transmission all the way up, as we will learn. It goes into the physical realm through the constellation of the stars. The Galgalim is a god from a koichav, and above that it comes from a mazel, which is a source. Mazel mishon noizel, which means trickling. Mazel is nozel. It's a liquid that trickles down. Chazal said in Medrash Rabbah and Bereshis, En lecha kol esev ve'esev, you cannot find any plant she'en lo koichav u'mazel shemakeh oisoi v'omer lo gdal. You don't have a single plant in existence that doesn't have a star and a muzzle above that star that hits it, and tells it to grow. Now, the kochav mazel, and every single star and muzzle, it gets from the stars that are above it. The Elyon, and the one on top, the Elyon mimeno. It reaches, it gets the shefa from the reality that is above that. It goes all the way until they receive the power, the potency from the supernal ministers. The 70 supernal ministers, each one, over, the countries, whatever these are like the highest, memunim on human beings. This is what Tikkun Ezra says. Kol kochvaya, all the stars, love and dove, they borrow one from another. Sira, Levi, Min Shimsho, the moon borrows from the sun, and so forth and so on. In other words, ki gavoya me'el gavoya, because it's higher and higher and higher still. Each one, receives from the one on top of it. They're all bechinas, they're all borrowers. Everybody is borrowing from the level above it. Until they all receive from the supernal ministers. Vasarim, and the ministers, they receive from those who are above them. Gavoa mal gavoa, higher and higher and higher still. Until they all receive from the source of everything. What is the source of everything? Dvar Hashem. The utterance, the dibur of Hashem. Dvar Hashem. The proof for that, Bidvar Hashem, with the utterance of Hashem, the talking of Hashem, Shamayim Nasu, the heavens, the firmament were made, and with the breath of his mouth, as it were, all their armies, all the stars, all the levels, above and above and above.
They're loaning them?
Yeah, each one is like receiving as a loan, because Lemaisa, we all get shefa from above, and the idea is to give back, in Avodas Hashem. Every single creation has its own avodah, according to the way this particular thing is supposed to. You have Perek Shira, for instance. Perek Shira? Perek Shira is that, it says, one day it says, what does the frog say? And it says this, the shear of and what does the fox say? And what does the cat say? All those Perek Shira. These are all the songs that the animals sing by the very fact that they exist. And this is giving back. You borrow and you give back. Ultimately, everybody is a borrower. Everybody owes to the level above it. And they all owe to Dvar Hashem. So Dvar Hashem is the root of the entire Bria. Valken, and that is why, that's why when a person acquires the power of tefillah, you don't need medicines anymore. The tefillah is the words of Hashem. Shu shoresh hakol. It means that then when a person davens, his refuah comes from his food. He doesn't need to take refuah. It puts it in as we will say afterwards.
The foods are no good.
What? I'm sorry?
The foods are no good today, sir. You don't know what to eat.
It's there is a nekuda that needs to be spoken about it. That say v'rapa yirape. The Gemara says from that pasuk v'rapa yirape. From here, this is the permission for a doctor to heal people. And the refuahs of every generation are always, always pertinent to that particular generation. You can't use the medicines from the Gemara. You're not allowed to. Is Rabbi Akiva Tatz is a doctor. Said his father was also a doctor. He said if his father would practice medicine the way he practices, then he would go to jail. Because you only have the judge which is in your days. In other words, the ishtadlus the person needs to do or wants to do, whatever it is appeared for, is according to the doctors of that particular day, of that particular era. When a person goes to the doctor. But when a person is tefillah, he doesn't need that. We said that tefillah is, if you remember, that tefillah comes through by the permeation of ruach nevuah. There's a spirit of prophecy. When you say this is an aspect of novi, of prophet. Novi is Rosh Hashanah, is the acronym B'dvar Hashem Shamayim Nasi. With the utterance of Hashem, the heavens were made. The firmament. So the Shamayim is the Aleph. Ki Aleph, because you say Dvar Hashem Shamayim Nasi. Where's the Aleph? You have base, you have Yud, you have Shin, you have Shamayim, and you have Nasi. Where's the Aleph? We have Novi, right? Novi was Nun, base, Yud, Aleph. We're missing the Aleph. So Rabbeinu says that the word Shamayim represents the Aleph. Ki Aleph, Rabbeinu says, Unikra Rakia, it calls the firmament. Why is the Aleph built the way it is? Why is it constructed the way it is? Is because the Aleph has a line in the middle, it has a dot on top, and it has a dot on the bottom. The dot on top means it represents the Kesa Elyon, the Shorish Dvar Hashem, the Shefa, and the Nekuda Tachtoino represents the Malchus, us, the receiver, and the Vav. What is Vav? Vav is something that connects something. It's called Vav Achibur. This is Ve'ele Achukim V'Mishpotim. If you would say Eile Achukim, it means okay. Until now was what we spoke about before. And from now on, we're going to speak about Eile Achukim Mishpatim. It says Ve'eile. What is the Vav doing? Vav connects what you're saying now to what you said before. And there was quite a few places it says you, like Vav is like end. It says you and you and you. So Vav is ata, ve'ata, ve'ata. Vav is connecting between one and the other. And ultimately, we say the shoresh, the root, is a nekuda, is a point. It's called a mai on the fountain, holding the ground basically with the water come out. And a vav is you draw from the point. You are drawing the water. You're drawing that's what a nahar is. It's a form of a vav. Inside the aleph, you have on top. You have the nekuda, which is the keser, the shorish. You have the nekuda, which was the recipient, the malchus. It's only a nekuda because the malchus doesn't have anything except what it receives. And the inside is the vav, is the hamshocha from above to below. And that vav is called shamayim, it's called the firmament. There's the rakia. The rakia is that go between the yud aliyona and the yud tachtoina, the nakuda on top, the point on top, and the point on the bottom. So the says the shamayim is mabdil b'mayim l'mayim. This is the rakia. Shamayim talks about the firmament. Kadei nevuah zochim letefila. It says when nevuah is zochet to davening to tefila shebchinas dvar Hashem. זה בחינה ששלח את דברו ויפועם וימלט משכיסו ישראל. It says in Tehillim, Kodesh Baruch Hu sends his dibur, very poem, and he heals them. Vimalat mishchiso Israel, and he rescues them from the trap that they are trapped in. Yishlach Dvoro, very poem, sends his dibur and heals them. Hainum shemekablim kol refuas shrakol d'var Hashem. You receive all the healing and all the mess, everything is necessary through Dvar Hashem, which is the tefillah, as we said before. I'm not tefillah. And a person will be rescued from shchisoisom, which basically means the entrapment. But there's also in Hebrew, words have different meanings also. Because we said that there is something called a koitzer l'shachas. They said that there is when a person is given a field, okay, and a person cuts, whatever it grows. There is, when you wait until the plants grow and then you reap whatever you sow. But there's also sometimes when a field is being cut, is being reaped, not for people's food, but just to have the plants where they're still young, to feed the behemoths, to feed the animals, to feed the livestock. It's called a koitzer l'shachas. So shchisoiso means shon shachas, which is plants when they are being cut as animal feed. So you see that plants are called shachas. So when Hashem sends his dvorah, very poem, shlach dvorah very poem, he sends his dibur, and he heals them. Then you don't need the asavim. You don't need to resort to the medicine of this. This is what it says. And you shall serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless what? Your bread and your food and your water. And I should relieve all illness from within you. That's what it says in Shmois. You should serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless your bread and your water, and you remove all illness from within you. Hashem, and you served Hashem. This refers to tefillah. So avoid as a tefillah, Chazal said. Then Kodesh Baruch Hu will bless your bread and your whatever it is that you eat. And I should remove all illness from within you. In other words, you'll have a fuah through bread and water. Why? Because they will be blessed from the root of everything. Shorish HaKol. I'm Dvar Hashem. This is Dvar Hashem. B'chinas tefillah. Before I'm going to go later, let's talk about this a little bit. Especially now in Hannukah. First of all, Hanukkah itself, when you take a look a little bit on what was going on throughout the generations, how did the story of Hanukkah start? And why is it so significant to the point that it says Purim and Hanukkah, that's it, they remain forever.
Not just Purim.
Purim and Hanukkah. It says, and the Osed Lava, the Gemara says, the Osed Lava in the future, in the end of days, as it says, all the Yom Tovim, will be just like normal days, because the entire year would be Yom Tovim. They'll still exist, halacha, but basically there won't be anything special, except Purim and Hanukkah. Will always be extraordinary. What is Hanukkah? Why? Purim we'll get to when you get to Purim. But what is Hanukkah? What's this Indian is so unbelievable with Hanukkah? I mean, we had Kriyas Yamsuf, we have plenty of miracles throughout generations. What's the
This is when the Mashiach comes, it will be bottled.
No, it's Achar Sayomim. I'm not sure what's the just look what the Rambam says. What does it mean when is Achar Sayomim? I don't know. The also glove. I don't know what's in the future. What is the future? I don't know. But when you're talking about what happened was about 300 and 180 years before Hanukkah. Hanukkah was 165 years before Common Era. So the Common Era. It's and so 180 years before it, there was a king in Greece. Greece was divided into small, city-states. You had Athens, you had Sparta, you had all, 5 of them, I think. And in a small country in Macedonia, there was a king who was called Philip. And he was a great warrior, and he, with war and with diplomacy, he united all the city-states of Greece, and he wants to start to conquer the world. On the way to what is called Asia Minor, which is Turkey today, he died. He died. Now, he died. He had a 15-year-old son. This 15-year-old son became king. His name was Alexander. They call Alexander the Great. There are many people in history which are called great, which are not really great. This guy was. Okay, age 15. Okay. He died at age 29. Okay, so the whole Alexander the Great era is 14 years. And in those 14 years, he reached all the way to India, conquered everything. Now, without going into too many details, when he came to Eretz Yisrael, the way that he did what he did, wherever he conquered the place, he would kill all the bigwigs, all the leaders. So the people won't give him any hard time. When we came to Eretz Yisrael, the Jews realized that, they can't, it was like 90 years after Bavel, the Golus Bavel just came, like 90 years. I mean, it's not the build Beis Hamikdash and whatever it is, but it was a fledgling nation, whatever it is, and Shimon HaTzadik, that was he was the Kohen Gadol at that time. Now the Gemara doesn't give titles to many people, but it gives him Shimon HaTzadik. So the Gemara calls him HaTzadik. You can imagine what he was. Okay, so the Jews made a delegation with all the great, the bigwigs of the Jews, all the leaders, and at the head was the Kohen Gadol came out with all his regalia to receive Alexander the Great. When they met him, Alexander the Great got off his chariot and bowed down to Shimon HaTzadik. So his generals told him, what is that? So he said, whenever he goes to battle, he says, the night before, he always dreams, he always sees the face of Shimon HaTzadik in front of his face. Now he recognized who it is, so he bowed down to him. So he was very nice to them. He didn't. So the Jews, they said they're going to give him 3 gifts. Okay? The first gift is that all the baby boys that were born in that year will be called Alexander. You have Alexander, Sender, whatever, this is where this comes from. The second gift is that they would make Greek the official language, business language, like English is today. Okay, so afterwards you have Greek. Once the name Alexander came in, Avtalion came in, Avtulas came in. All the Greeks' name, that you have, you find in the Gemara, Horkanos, these are all Greek names. And the third gift, they said, you don't need to worry, you don't have to collect taxes. We will collect all the taxes and we'll give them to you. We'll send it to you. And he agreed. He left them alone and he went, he conquered Egypt, whatever it is. And he died, he created a city in Egypt, Alexandria, called after his name. And he died age 29. Now he left 2 generals that they divided the inheritance of Alexander the Great. One was called Ptolemy or Ptolemaeus, and he took Egypt, and the other is called Seleucus. He was in Syria and took the north. Now the Jews, in between the Seleucus and the Ptolemies was a tiny country, Eretz Israel, that was basically free from any. But it was very important because that's the route that the merchants went, commerce went through this. There was a main pathway. So both Egypt and Syria, both the Ptolemies and the Seleucus, was arguing who was going to have the Eshpo. So the Jews went with Egypt, and there was this is what Talmai Amelech. This is when they translated the Torah to Greek. So Greek became more and more prevalent, and not just as a language. It was cultured, Greek culture, not religion, but culture. Religion was Jewish. It's like American culture. Now, after a while, the Ptolemies became weaker and weaker, and the Syrian, the Seleucus, became higher, and they took over Eretz Israel. Now, during that time, because the Greek influence was growing and growing, there was a whole part of the Jewish people, up to 30% of the Jewish people, that adopted the ways of Greece. They call them Misyavnim. And they became more and more powerful. And like Jews throughout the generation, they always tell somebody else what he needs to do. You're wrong, you should do what I'm telling you. This is what the Jews go. Now, so Mimela, when the Seleucus government, took over Eretz Israel, they were very upset that the Eden were siding with the Egyptians. So they weren't happy with the Jews in Eretz Israel. So the Misyavnim, those 30% of those who wanted, to go old Greek all the way, jumped on the bandwagon like they do today. It's not us, it's them, it's these people. We want you, we always wanted you. It's these people, the other Jews, that are faithful to Torah. These are the guys that. The Kitzer, the Misyavnim went up and up and up and up. And the thing is that they pushed the entire Am Yisrael to become Greek in religion, not like Greek. The thing is that the Greeks, they worshipped, besides the fact that they have all these pagan deities, whatever, they worshipped the human body. You know, they had the Olympic Games, and which were done in the nude and whatever it is, and there's no morality, you know, men and women, everything was. And one of the things that was very abhorrent to them was circumcision, because that hurts the perfection of the human body as far as they're concerned, which they worshipped. So with the help of this Misyavnim, they came out with a decree, you know, no more learning Torah, no more keeping Shabbos, no more keeping Rosh Chodesh, no bris milah. Now the thing is that
Who came out with this?
well, the Greeks, with the insistence of the Misyavnim, pushed by, you know, Shalom Achshav, pushed by B'Tselem, pushed by, you know, all the leftists. This is what they were, basically. You know, in Russia was the same thing. During the revolution, it was the Jews, the Efsetsia, you know, that persecuted the religious people. It's always, you know, the Jews are always the Friar Jews that joined the Bolshevik revolution. They are the one that persecuted the religious Jews in Soviet Union, Russia. It's a recurring theme that the Jewish people, you know, the Malshinim, whatever it is. I mean, they use anyhow. Let's just go ahead with not, you know. So now the thing is that they didn't fool around. Anybody keeping Shabbos, learning Torah, Mekam Bris Milah, whatever it is, you know, they were killed. Only, you know, there's no ifs and buts. And one of the things that they did was, you know, this Antiochus Epiphanes became the king in Syria, and he put they put a statue of the chief deity of the Greek, Zeus, in Beis Hamikdash. And they say that the Jews have to prove their fealty to the Greek whatever, and what they do is they went from town to town, village to village, that you have these Jews, you know, these turncoat Jews. Ahead of time, they are the ones who are appointed to do this with a guard of Greek soldiers. They will go to that place and they will erect an altar, a mizbech, and they call the people of the town to and a statue of Zeus, whatever it is, to sacrifice, to slaughter a pig for Zeus and eat the pig. And if the people didn't do it, they were killed. You know, there's no. Why dafka pig? Because pig, you know, is the symbol of non-Jewishness, of un-Jewish eating, of Gentile food. Well, at 165 before the Common Era, this took place. They came to Modi'in, not far from here. And at time Modi'in, they decided they did that, whatever it is. They put an altar. They called all the people, and they told, you know, Yochanan was a Kohen. He was one of the holy Kohanim, and they told him that he's supposed to slaughter the pig, and so he was furious, and he killed that Jew that came. He killed him, and he called all his, you know, his sons. He had 5 sons. He has Yehuda, Shimon, Yonatan. Forgot the name of all of them. and they made rebellion. They rebelled against the Greek.
Well, they killed the Jew by us. They wasn't with the Greeks.
Yeah,
soldiers?
that Jew that came with the Greek and said, Shech the
Greeks?
pig, whatever it is, they killed him and all the guard, and that resulted in a war. I think that war was like 9 months of. Now the Greeks had huge armies, and they were very well trained. But the leader of the Jewish troops, as it were, was the son of Yohanan. He was called Yehuda, and he was called Yehuda Maccabi. Yehuda Maccabi Mishon Makevet is a hammer of a blacksmith. It's Makevis, it's a Yehuda Maccabi. There was that. And on his name is called Maccabim, and the whole thing is going after him. Now they fought the Greek with guerrilla warfare because they could not, withstand the, fight a normal war against the Greek. So, by the way, he's considered to be one of the great generals in history in West Point. They have a statue amongst all, of Caesar, of Napoleon, whatever it is, the great generals, whatever it is, they have a statue which they say this Yehuda Maccabi, that's anyhow, be that as it may, he was killed in that war. In fact, 4 of the 5 sons were killed in that war. The only one who's left is Shimon, and they came to Yerushalayim. And when they came to Yerushalayim, there was one big battle, which is an open battle, army against army, and the Greek lost. When the Greek lost that battle, they retreated, they left Eretz Yisrael, and the Maccabim took it over. And basically, now Shimon, that's the one son that remained, he did not declare himself a king. He just called himself Rishon. He was the first. But he not declared himself. But after him, already they became kings. Malchus Hashmonoi, they became kings there. And obviously, the story of Hannukah, they came to the Mikdash. Everybody knows the story, the reason why this is so cardinal, Hannukah, is because this is the end of the paganic era in Am Yisrael. Pagan. Until then, Am Yisrael, were hemming and hawing with paganism this way or that way. Hannukah was the end of paganism in Am Yisrael. That's the reason why. So Mimela, the outpouring of thanks is the greatest. Dafka on Hannukah. The of thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Dafka on Hannukah. Because what is paganism? Paganism basically means Hashem or Avodah Zarah. That's what paganism is. From that time on, the problems were Taivus, Sinas Chinam, Arias, Mominus, whatever. It's already private, but it is no longer the Kadosh Baruch Hu. As far as Am Yisrael is concerned, the Kadosh Baruch Hu does not have a rival. And no more. This is the significance of Hanukkah. So Mimela, this is the coronation of Kadosh Baruch Hu. There is I think it says in the Pirkei Avos. I think it's Pirkei Avos, I'm not sure. that one of the students of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, I believe, came to him, to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and said, "In Lamadati kol haTorah kula, if I have learned the entire Torah, Mani lilmod chochma yevonis. Am I allowed then to go ahead and learn the Greek science, the Greek chochma?" So the answer that he got was, you should find yourself an hour. Find yourself an hour, which is neither day nor night. In other words, if you want to learn Chochmah Yevonis, you need to find yourself an hour that is neither day nor night. Shene'emar, it is said, "V'agisa bo yonam alayla," you should learn Torah day and night. So if you can find yourself a time which is neither day or night, then you can learn Chochmah Yevonis. That was the answer. Now this is, Reb Tzvi Cheshen said this, Rav Tzvi Cheshen Shlita, this is what he said about this. It's a little difficult because if he says, "Ilamaditi kol haTorah kula," if I learned the entire Torah, you didn't know that it says, "V'agisa bo yom halayla." You should learn it day and night. You should turn Torah day and night. If you don't know, go back learning Torah. You still didn't learn entire Torah. So obviously you know that. So what's the question? That's point number one. Point number two, the answer is also a little funny. Find an hour which is no day, no night. That's not the way Tanoim spoke. What is it? Like he's playing with him, find an hour which is neither day nor night. What is this? So the answer is follows. The question was much deeper. Any science is endless. Medicine, there's no end. You don't never finish. Physics, you never finish. No science says, and that's it, it's not like making shoes. Okay, you know how to make shoes. Any chochmah yevonis, any there's no end to it. But you reach a certain level, you're proficient. You're a doctor, you're a professor. Yeah, you already, you know it. You know it. Yeah, of course, there's more to learn. Okay, but basically, you got your, the ranks. So he says, he asks him like this. In Torah, there's also such positions. You're Rav, you're Dayan, you're Pesach, you're Rosh Hashiva. There's also, these kind of positions that Rabbeinu, warns in this Torah to be aware of. Stay away from that. Okay? He says, if I already, since you see that in Torah, you can learn enough Torah too, because of that. Yes, you are Talmid Chochem. You are already a Rav. You're already okay. Now, of course, you need to learn more and more and more. But a doctor also needs to learn more and more and more. Okay. Mani lilmod. If I learn the entire Torah and I achieve it, maybe I can learn that the Torah is also some type of Chochmah Yevonis, social science. So the answer is this. He told him there are two differences. The first difference is metzalach hasha'ah shi lo yom velo layla. Find yourself a time which is neither day nor night. Okay? There's only one mitzvah that you're supposed to be mekayem in a time which is no longer day and not yet night. That's Hannukah. Hannukah. The Ashkenazim do after Shkia, the Sfaradim do after Tzedakah, but that's the time in between.
We do after
Sedem. But what I'm saying, but the time is between this and this. You said that That's the time. Shashu lo yom velo layla. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has delivered Am Yisrael throughout history many miracles. But throughout all those miracles, the main goal was saving Am Yisrael. Along the way, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he made a miracle. He split Yamsuf or whatever it is, to plant it. But the main thing was getting Am Yisrael out of Mitzrayim to get to our sins, to receive the Torah. That's the goal. The means were there are a lot of different nisim that went along the way. The same thing with all the other nisim, with Yeshua, with the stones, whatever it is. The goal was conquering Eretz Yisrael. Along the way, there were all kinds of miracles. So the miracles was the means to an end. The only time where the miracle itself was the goal was Hannukah. Because Chochmah Evonis says there is nature. There's no such thing as above nature. The Torah says there's no such thing as nature. Nature just means that Kadosh Baruch Hu still wants it to be that way. That's it. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants it differently, it'll become different. According to Chochmah Evonis, there's no such thing that oil that is enough to burn for one day will last for 8 days. No such thing. So the miracle of Hannukah in itself is saying there's no nature. There's only the Ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like Rabbi Chamina ben Doiso, that his wife, put the Erev Shabbos, instead of oil, she put vinegar in the lamps. And she says, "Oi, what did I do?" So Chamina says, "No problem. Mishama l'shemen she'idlok." Whoever's told the oil, to be flammable, you will tell the vinegar to be flammable, and she lit up in the Nechinami. It was near Shabbos with vinegar. No problem. When you're reaching that level, nature doesn't exist anymore. That's one difference. That's why you cannot say the Torah is a Chochmah Evonis. And secondly, the Gisa B'Yomam V'Layla. Chochmah Evonis is always when you say 1 + 1 is 2. Okay. 2 + 2 is 4. Wow. Okay. 4 + 4 is 8. All right. Now 8 + 8 is 16. And so when you go and you go and you go, now if you were to stop by 1 + 1, you're not a mathematician. There's no chokhmah there. 1 + 1 is 1. It's 2. Now 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is 2. That's not chokhmah evonis. But in Torah, this is a person says 1,000 times v'achot loiton timno, and the sister of loiton is timno. 1,000 times you got 1,000 mitzvahs. The Torah is not to get somewhere. The Torah is the learning itself. So these are the two differences why you cannot say, even though there are ranks, as it were, in Torah, seemingly similar to the way it is in Chochmah Evonis, it's totally different because no such thing as nature, and the Torah is Torah Lishma. Learning Torah in itself, as Rabbeinu says, Atzlachos HaNefesh. There's no greater favor that Kadosh Baruch Hu could do to us than remove the mistress of Avodah Zarah. Yes, we still have problems. Yes, we still have taivas. Yes, we still have all kind of confusion, bilbulim, but Avodah Zarah, there isn't any.
Did the Chachamim remove the Avodah Zarah?
What?
Did the Chachamim remove the Avodah Zarah? The title for Avodah Zarah? Like the Gemara says.
Yeah, and the whole Beis Hamikdash, this was, that was already for the entire world. It wasn't just, it died very quickly afterwards. But from Am Yisrael, by Am Yisrael, it was already not a, they saw Chol Beis Hamikdash, but the Zohar got it by Srishon. This is the They saw that they mevatel the. So since then, okay, we have problems. We see things, we look at them. Hashem Yirachem, Seder. With money, there are problems. Food, okay, we're still, going up sous vide and sushi and whatever it is. What's it called? Wagyu beef or whatever. But the Avodah Zarah is gone. Oh, Hashem. Now we have Moedim. Okay? What is Moedim? Moedim is when we say Moedim Shmoneh Esrei. So we said there are two types of Avodas. There are two Moedim, Toidas in Moedim. First of all, Moedim is we admit that you are Hashem Elokeinu ki Avosseinu, you're the one, and you are the rock of our foundations, from generations. That's the first Moedim. The first, which means we recognize, then we are also moedim on our life that are in your hand. Kadosh Baruch Hu runs our lives every single moment. He recreates us every single nanosecond. Our neshamas, and we're just along the way, we're in the middle of a process. The same way we were born, we're going to be born to another lifetime. It's far longer. The miracles you do with us every single day. And your favors and your rachmanis is night, morning, and noon. 24/7 is Tovas and Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kulam, and on top of everything else, is Boach, is almost Shishimcha, Befikul Chatami Loilon Vaed. This is why Kimeolam Kivinuach. When you say, what does it mean, Lob Kimeolam Kivinuach? From we were always yearning for you. What does it mean, Meolam Kivinuach? You can say possibly, Meolam. Chazal said, what is Meolam? Meolam is shown He'elim, means from concealment. Because Baruch Hu created Olam is He'elim, is concealment. We are calling towards you. The biggest things that we're giving to you, Kodesh Baruch Hu, is that we are calling or yearning to you without seeing anything. We were from Emunah, on Emunah only. That's the greatest chesed Hashem did with us, that He enables us to yearn for Him, to wish for Him, falling down, getting up, stumbling, bumbling, this and that, and coming back again. We are yours. We are yours. We always were yours. We always will be yours. Because a Jew was created, he should have dominion over the Malachim. Ad Kan, Bat Hashem, 49, Hannukah Sameach, and the Shabbos.
Moedim also thank you.
What? Yeah. So the first Moedim is we admit. The second Moedim is we're thanking you. So we're both. Now, this meaning of thanking is there's a lot to talk about it, because Moedim is not just, listen, somebody give me a favor, so I'm saying thank you. Moedim is a way of life. When a person is driving along the highway of Moedim, it's a different kind of life. If a person feels during the minute like, I can't believe that, I don't feel well, what a person needs to do, sit down, take out a piece of paper, and make a gratitude list. What are you grateful for in your life? That I'm alive, that I'm healthy, that I'm this, that I'm that, that I'm married, that I'm chum, that I have children, that I have grandchildren, whatever. Thank you. Once you finish the list, you realize that the thing that we feel unhappy about are a little point here and a little point there. Somebody didn't answer my phone call. My car was stuck in traffic. The bus took a sweet time coming. Somebody didn't speak nice. Just a split second here, but the entire time is fabulous. When a person is traveling down the highway of Toido, of saying thank you to Kodesh Baruch Hu, it's a different life. That's what Hannukah is about. That's what Beis Chelek Beis Rabbeinu says. Hannukah Yemei Oido. Hannukah is a day of thanks. Atkan is a day of thanksgiving. Already.